So resilience.
Resilience meant forward ever, backwards never.
You have to get up.
It's being able to...
doesn't resilience lead to burnout?
Persistence.
But as long as you stick to it.
So that for me is what resilient community is all about.
When I think of resilience,
the old definition of resilience,
I would just call it the ability to...
Very tough game.
So resilience for me means...
Resilience for me,
not giving up.
I think it's perseverance.
I think it's about giving yourself the grace to make mistakes and fail. Do you consider yourself resilient? And what does that mean to you? In this podcast, Resilient Entrepreneurs with 2 for 1, we chat with business owners about what resilience means to them, and they share their inspiring stories and life lessons.
What we've learned running our own businesses, you're never alone, even when it feels like it. So tune in anytime to this podcast. We're always here for you, celebrating resilient entrepreneurs just like you. We're Laura and Vicky from 2 for 1, a marketing company for early stage business owners who want to launch, grow, and be resilient.
I grew up with my mother who had terminal cancer when I was a young girl, so that was difficult. My son, Bo, passed away. It'll be 16 years this Christmas. And my husband, Ken Flach, passed away in 2018. And then my business partner passed away a year after Ken. So I have had some tragedies in my life, definitely. I think I've handled some better than others. I started doing these podcasts, speaking about raising awareness for sepsis, which then led to speaking about grieving in a positive way, which then led to me speaking about living your best life, being the best version of you. And I didn't expect any of those things to happen either, but they kind of have. And it helped me grieving to help others not feel what I feel.
Glance at Christina Flach's LinkedIn profile and you'll quickly see what a successful go-getter she is. She's the president and CEO of Pretty Girl Makeup, a company she founded. She's a celebrity makeup artist, entrepreneur, and philanthropist, and an on-air beauty expert featured on NBC TV. Her Instagram account with close to 20,000 followers is at Christina Flach Makeup. She's working on a new cosmetics line for men and women, and what we love about Christina is that she believes in the importance of inner beauty, wellness, nutrition, and manifestation. It's not all about the gloss and glamour, although that's always a nice touch. She's also an outspoken advocate for sepsis awareness and education, and you can see where her passion flows. Christina joins us on Resilient Entrepreneurs to share what makes her resilient, and trust us, she's had some tough things to work through in life. Grab a cuppa, turn on the volume, and settle in for a super inspiring episode. Christina, thank you so much for joining us today. We're thrilled to have you on the podcast.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for that lovely introduction. So nice to be here with you lovely ladies.
So first, tell us where you are in the world, because we love talking to people all over the world. And where are you from?
I am from Marin County, which is right outside of San Francisco on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, very cool. Love it. So a celebrity makeup artist. Now, I'm a gal who does like makeup, but nowhere near takes the time I'm sure that you do. So tell us a little bit about your life as a makeup artist.
Well, I have been a celebrity makeup artist for about 20 years. I have 3 agents that represent me, but I am thrilled to be working as a makeup artist and still be a CEO. It's so fun. It's a different adventure every day being a makeup artist. You don't know where you're going to go or who you're going to be with. And I love that part. I love meeting new people. I love traveling and I love working. And it's so fun to be able to do what brings me so much joy. I love making people look and feel like the best versions of themselves. And being a makeup artist is the perfect fit for me.
Now, I'd like to just get right off the bat. Let's get into the glam magazines without breaking any client confidentiality. Let's drop some names here, Christina, right up front. I can't say who's been your most favorite client because that would just be wrong.
They're all my favorite. But I have worked with every major network in the world, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, Food Network. I've worked with Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Nordstrom's, Neiman Marcus, Condoleezza Rice, Hilary Swank, Rita Moreno, Florence, Bobby Flay, Metallica, Journey. I don't know. I'm forgetting a lot, but on my ChristinaFlach.com in the client area, they're all there. And I would say that Tyler is my favorite because I've had him the longest. We've been together 16 years as his stylist. And so we just finished a TV show last spring on the Food Network called The Great Food Truck Race. We did a Williams-Sonoma ad that just came out in December. And let's see, what else do we have going on? Oh, he started a new podcast called Two Dudes in the Kitchen. So we're doing that. And then next February, I think we go back to Los Angeles and start working on the season 16 of The Great Food Truck Race on the Food Network.
I love that. Oh, wow. Two Dudes in the Kitchen. I'm definitely going to be looking in on that.
Yeah.
I'm a real foodie and I love anything
Yeah.
to do with
So
cooking.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that will be a lot of fun. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations. And I mean, you've been at this a long time, but a lot of our audience is at the beginning of their journey.
Mhm.
Do you have any memories from the beginning of your journey and any advice for people who, might want to look forward 20 years and say, what's the best thing to do at the start of your journey?
Well, that's a great question. So I would say the best thing and most important thing is being an entrepreneur. You have to really love what you do because it is going to take so much more time, so much more effort, so much more money than you can even imagine. So you really have to enjoy the process because if you don't love it and want to wake up every day and can't wait to do it, it's going to fail because it's exhausting and sometimes very frustrating. Tyler has a great saying that, it's really hard to be exceptional because if anyone knew how hard it is, no one would do anything. So it's actually better that you don't know. I know that there's a lot of people in the world that are in corporate jobs or in jobs that they just don't love and they want to make a change. And so what I urge people to do is work after work, get a part-time job doing what it is that really brings you joy and fills your heart. And on the weekends and not quit your job because I didn't do that. I mean, I am very grateful that I have Pretty Girl. That is my company that I started. So days that I'm not on set, I'm doing interviews and I work on my company. So for me, a perfect fit. Both my careers actually help each other. It differentiates me as a makeup artist that I have my own line, and it helps my line that I'm still a working makeup artist. So I'm very grateful for that. But I love both aspects of my job. It's exhausting being a makeup artist because you wake up early and it's a long day.
Yeah.
So that's why on days that I don't have a shoot, I can be a normal person. I can go work out, I can go to yoga class, I can, do stuff and be in my office or work in my home. So I have created the life that I want and I love how it is.
Would your 8-year-old self believe the life that you have now?
Well, oh my gosh, I could never have imagined that my life had turned out so big. I have a great life and I'm so grateful. It's so interesting. I worked with a teenager a few months ago named Ivy, and I was trying to inspire her to dream big. And what is it that you love doing? And she, after our consultation, she applied to a study abroad program for art in Prague and she got it. And so she told me how much it meant to her that I encouraged her to dream big. But I could have never imagined that I would have this life. I have now learned to manifest the things that I want. As I've gotten older, I've learned to set goals and focus on what I want to have happen. And it's happened. For me, being able to be the new expert beauty consultant expert on NBC on California Live is a huge deal. It's quite an honor. And I'm very grateful for that. I would say I'm very open to new projects, new possibilities. And so when my agents call or someone calls and offers me something new, I say yes. I have learned, this is another one, I have learned to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. My friend Berlin Fisher, who I do the NBC segments with, has pushed me to do things I really thought I would not be comfortable doing, such as during Halloween, us dressing up and having crazy makeup on. I normally would be like, no, I like being back here behind the camera. And so I've kind of embracing now with the uncomfortableness of being comfortable with being uncomfortable, because I think that's hard for anyone.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We talk to so many people, and this comes up a lot. It's about that stretch. And when you stretch, it feels so uncomfortable in the moment. And then you kind of get through it and you're like, oh, okay, I've gotten through
So
that.
bad. I think we
Yeah.
created it to be a bigger deal than it actually is. And so I feel that I've been asked so many times, well, what if you fail? Well, to me, failing is not trying and being stuck in something that's not fantastic. So if you know that there's no failures to me in life. So if I know that the only thing I have to do is try, it's not a failure. Of course, there's going to be bumps. Of course, there's going to be problems, but I look at those as learning lessons instead of a failure. Failure's got such a negative connotation, I think. So I think if you can just think there's going to be bumps, handle them, and just that means to go in another direction. That's all.
Yeah. And when there's no failure in your mindset, then I guess there's less fear, because we often fear the failure. And if we know that we can't fail, then there's really nothing to be scared of.
Exactly. So I think there's just so many amazing opportunities in the world. I would never have thought that I would be doing podcasts as often as I am, or I've been on some magazine covers this year, which I never expected to happen, but it's happening. So I'm really enjoying all of these amazing things that have happened this past year. It's been a pretty extraordinary year for me professionally.
Christina, just tell us a little bit about the manifestation. Now, you're taking credit for this. You're owning your role in your, I think it's important for us to own what our role is in our success. Some people just say, oh, I got lucky. But no, we make our own luck. And you talked about you've learned how to manifest. So talk us through that.
Well, I think I set a goal for myself, and I just think like, okay, what would be I just think about how it is going to feel when it's happened. And that's what I focus on. I don't focus on the negativity. I don't focus on, oh, what if it doesn't happen? I just focus on it's happening and this is how I feel and it's going to be great. I just think that life is so much more interesting when you push yourself to achieve these goals and keep striving for more and more. And then more possibilities open, more opportunities arise if you're open and willing to, like, I have done so many jobs for very little money or no money because I was passionate about it. Or, for example, I did Rita Moreno's hair and makeup for People magazine, which is a huge deal, but magazines pay like $400, $450, but I didn't care. I would have done that for free all day long. Right. So I will do work on documentaries if I'm passionate about it, or different projects. If, like, on Saturday, I'm doing a project with my daughter, with my newly adopted daughter, Jazz. And I'm obviously not charging my child, but I get to do, she's this beautiful Asian girl. She's so amazing. And we're going to just do she's an actress and she also works for Apple, because I have to brag about my daughter that works for Apple. But she is so gorgeous. And so we're going to do something, normal shots for her portfolio, but also I'm going to do some high fashion shots where I'm going to kind of get to go crazy with the makeup and just kind of be free as a makeup artist to be artistically free. Because, oftentimes if I'm with a Gucci or Louis Vuitton or working on a project with Fox or Food Network, they're very specific on how they want the makeup done. It can't overshadow the fashion and it can't be sticking out so much on TV. So when I get to do a fun fashion shoot and I get to just go crazy with my paintbrush, I really enjoy that. And those oftentimes turn into published in magazines. So
yeah, absolutely. I think that's so many creative people have exactly that struggle. It's like the balance between your own expression versus sort of what someone else may want. That's a tricky balance to get right sometimes. And you got to have a little bit of both in your life, I think, for fulfillment as an artist, right?
Definitely. I think it's so important for me to not always feel like I'm stifled. I mean, I love what I do and I get paid really well, but sometimes it's really not about the money. It's really about me just being able to express myself as an artist that I still need as a human. That's like something that's in me, this drive in me that I want to create more things that are beautiful and express myself. And I've learned through life's bumps how to self-soothe. I have learned that can't get too hungry, too tired, to not work out, not think of things I'm grateful for, because life gets challenging. And so when things get challenging for me or there's difficulty, I really have learned to self-soothe. I have learned that I need to take self-care, and this is what I speak about a lot lately. Self-care is not selfish. It actually makes me be better everything because I got rest and I ate well and I worked out and thought of things I'm grateful for. I am so much more a better mother, a better partner, a better everything, a better human, because I've taken care of myself, and it's not selfish. It would be selfish if I was just complaining constantly. I'm tired. I didn't work out. Ugh. No one wants to hear that, first of all. And second of all, I can do more to help people. So I have learned to say that me taking that, it doesn't, to me, working out is not it doesn't have to be an hour every day. Sometimes it's 20 minutes, sometimes it's 10, but I need to be consistent with it. So I don't have that. I get this guilt in my head. I'm sure you guys do as well. Like, oh God, I need to work out. I need to work out. Well, if all I had was 10 minutes, at least I did it. And then I don't have to be obsessing on that.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Because I think we do kind of put it off if we can't do it right. If we set ourselves 20 minutes and we don't have 20 minutes and then we skip it and then it snowballs.
Right. And so I think on days, it's funny, I am always curious as to why people say when they're traveling, oh, well, I can't eat well or I can't work out. Okay, well, to me, for example, when I was shooting the show with Tyler, I wasn't home. We were traveling, but I had less to do because I didn't have a house to clean. I didn't have a child to drive around. So all I had to do was take care of him on set and work out. So I would work out once or twice a day. I would find a yoga class in a different city, or I'd work out in the gym at the hotel. And I eat consistency with my food is super important. I drink green juice every day. I drink a lot of water. I eat raw almonds, and because I feel best when I'm eating like that. And there's no reason why I'll go to a pressed juicery, which is here in the States. And I will get like a 6-pack of green juices, and that will last me 2 days. And I am just super strict. It is so easy to be on set and they've got like all this yummy, amazing food, or Tyler is cooking. And of course I'm going to have a few bites, but yeah. If I can at least be consistent with my water and my green juice and my working out, it's just my weight stays at a good place. I'm able to sleep better. Everything just is, I don't have to think about it, and I don't need to worry about it and feel bad about it.
And Christina, you say you don't have to think about it. So do you find that after a while of doing this routine, that you don't necessarily want the cupcakes that are on site, and you don't necessarily want the stuff that looks good? Do you find that desire drops?
It does. Sugar for me is a drug, because if I start eating cookies, I want to eat 19,000 of them. I don't know how to eat one cookie. So it's best if I just don't, and they don't exist. I'm not saying I don't eat cake and I don't eat cookies, but it's not like something I would do during the week or when I'm on set. I am very strict about that. I do not eat junk when I'm on set. Like, that is a no-no. I just don't.
It is so easy. And when you say you're strict, is that you're really trying, you're putting an effort in? Because strict sounds like such a hard word.
Oh, maybe that's a little too harsh. I'm very disciplined.
Okay.
It's just not something that I do. I've kind of made that rule. I don't know what you want to call it, a rule or like promise to myself. I'm not saying I won't eat a cookie. I mean, I'm not going to not, but I try 98% of the time to not eat a bunch of junk on set.
Yeah.
Do you find that level of discipline really translates into your business as well? Because you're a very busy businesswoman.
Yes.
Do you have to stay as disciplined there too in your life?
I think I'm just naturally that way. And the more you do it, the more you do it. I think I am pretty disciplined. I wake up at the same time every day. I don't know how to sleep past 7. And I wake up and have water and green juice and tea and try and exercise first thing, or I'll do it midday, depending on my schedule. That's what works best for me. I've learned to be the best version of me. Those are the things that I need to do. So I guess do you guys do that? What is it that you need to do to be the best version of yourselves? Have you ever thought of that?
Yeah, mostly it's coffee.
Yeah.
We're big believers in morning routines. For myself, I oil pull with coconut oil.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
First thing in the morning. And then I'll have a green drink. It's not juice, it's a nutrition drink, green powder, which I love, and I feel so zing afterwards.
Yes.
And then just get on with the day. I know Laura has a pretty extreme routine involving a cold water shower, which I haven't been brave enough to try yet, but I really do want to.
I have to tell you,
fantastic, but I haven't done that either.
The weird.
I hate to be cold.
Same here. I absolutely hate to be cold. So this is what I do, because everybody's been asking me about it lately, because I guess I've been talking about it. I don't start in a cold shower because that sounds absolutely dreadfully miserable. So I start with a normal hot shower and everything. Okay. I do a cold rinse at the end, which is so torture. I have to psych myself up to turn off the hot and just the cold. And I have to do all the breathing, the Wim Hof style breathing. I do all of that to get myself there. How long is
this whole process?
Anywhere from like a minute or two. If I'm really feeling it, I'll go a little longer. It just depends how I'm feeling. Honestly, I get out, and it's this weird thing because it's how the body works. How your blood moves in your body. When you get cold, the blood moves inside to all your core, right? And it moves away from your extremities. So that's what happens. And you feel warmer when you get out of the shower. It's the weirdest thing. And I love that part the most because I get out and feel warm. It's weird, but it wakes me up. It gets me like totally moving in the morning, and I need it because I don't get enough sleep because I've got little kids. And it keeps me going.
Yeah. Have you guys dry brushed? Because that's actually the first thing I do first thing in the morning. I dry brush. Do you know that? So you know those like brushes on a stick that you see and you never know what on earth to do with it? Well, you start at your feet and you brush all your legs up to your heart, and it gets your lymphs going and it wakes you up. So actually try that before you do your shower thing. But it's funny. I get asked all the time, and I just did a segment on NBC about this. What is the most important beauty product? Sleep.
Yes.
Sleep is so important. And there's no reason. It's free. And it's really important to get to bed early. Some days I go to bed at 8, 7:30. 9. I go to bed early, I'll read, but I really try to get a lot of sleep, and it is the best thing that I do for myself.
Yeah, I believe that's true. I'm
guessing Jazz is old enough to put herself to bed, eh?
She is, but I have, I have 5 kids total. So my oldest is 29, Melania's 29, Rose is 27, Jazz is 25, and Nikolai is 22, and Ben is 16. So.
And I just want to say,
they're all big. They're all grown up.
It's ridiculous that you have children that old. You do not look like that's at all possible that you have children of that age.
So kind. No, it's true. Well, I hired myself, so.
Good answer.
You don't know what I look like when this isn't on and there's lights,
Smoke and mirrors. A little smoke and mirrors doesn't hurt.
Not a little, a lot of smoke, a lot of mirrors, a lot of moisturizer.
Hey, exactly. Good stuff. So I'd like to just bring it back to business just a little bit. And as a CEO of Pretty Girl Makeup, tell us a little bit about how that business started. Was that something you just built from clients requesting, or was this something always in your heart to build? Tell us a little bit about the makeup business.
I did not expect to be a CEO. I didn't know what one was when I was like 8, and I didn't expect to have a makeup company, but I've had so many clients that are CEOs, and they all have said the same thing. There was a need for something. So, for example, my need was I was a mom driving around all these babies and having a battle between my water and my lip gloss. And I tried every lip gloss I could find. Every one I tried that was long lasting was really drying. And I thought, and again, quoting Tyler, ignorance is bliss, because I thought, I can invent my own. I'll be in a store in like 5 minutes. So wrong. It took over a year to formulate with a beauty person that does a beauty chemist, that's what she does, to formulate the texture and then the colors, because I was self-funded. I didn't have a ton of money to just put into a million colors. So I wanted them to look good on all of my friends and family. So then I tried it out on my friends and family with all different colors, shades of the rainbow, and then would send comments back. So it took a lot longer than I had anticipated. But again, this was something that I enjoyed doing and I loved it so much. I didn't care how much time it took or how long it took or how much money, because I really did enjoy the process. And it's fun I've had different, right now we're just lips. I've shrunk my line, but I have had spa products, candles, I've had eyeshadows, and we are creating a new line called I'm Too Busy, and it will be a complete line with everything and skincare and hopefully hair care and lifestyle with like home products. So
I love the name of that so much, because it's like, what's the number one reason people probably tell you they don't bother with skincare? I'm too busy. I'm too busy for skincare. So it like answers the question right off the bat.
Right.
I love it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm
Brilliant.
excited about it.
You
Yes.
should be.
And Christina, you're adding a men's line as well?
Yes, I am adding a men's line because, men, I have a lot of male clients, and there are really not a ton of lines that are, I don't want it to have 1,000 products. I just want it to be like 3 steps, because I think men will be more inclined to doing it when it's simple and not like a lot of choices that they have to think about. It's just going to be pretty straightforward and that they'll be willing to use. I know women, I know me with my guy, I want him to use these skin products, but I just have to put them in front of him and then he'll use them. But if he had to go out and get them, I don't think he would. So men think it's weird oftentimes, like, oh, that's like, I don't feel comfortable with getting skincare for women, which is ludicrous. We all have skin and we have to take care of it. And sunscreen is super important. I say that all the time. It's not only when the sun's out. It is 365 days, whether it's snowing, raining, sunny, whatever. You need it. You need it on your face, your neck, your chest, and your hands. Our hands, it's so funny, really show our age if we don't protect them. And so I think just educating people in a straightforward, simple way, and especially with the men, I think they'll be into it. The other name I'm going to call it for the men is going to be, it's about time. It's about time men have a skincare line, right? So.
Yeah. I think it's absolutely right. I mean, I don't know a guy that doesn't like to look good. They do their hair, they shave their beard.
They all like to look good. They just don't want to have to do what we do. I mean, can you imagine if they had to like do all our lotions and potions and scrubs?
I think some of them secretly do. They just don't.
They do. They just don't know. I know my guy, he loves this. I've been using this Tatcha skincare line. I really love it. And I know he uses a scrub. And I'm like, babe, it's a drop. It's not a whole, like, this is really expensive. And he's like, there's like a big handful of face. I'm like, ooh, okay, that was like $40. That's okay. You should scrub your face.
It's hilarious. I love it. So, what do you think is an important concept for success? What does success mean to you? It means different things to lots of different people.
That's an interesting question. I think success for me means that I'm respected in my field, that I am hardworking, that I give my best all the time, and I have balance in my life. I have love in my life. I have good health. I think all of that matters, and that I'm able to, in my world of beauty, that I have opportunities to try different new things, and that I take those opportunities. That's to me success. Not saying, "Oh no, I'm scared. I don't want to do that."
Yeah, that's really living your best life, like you said, isn't it?
Yes.
Just going out there and living every day fully. And
Yes.
Can we just go to a more somber note, I suppose, and it really depends on how your perspective of all this is now, but you really have had some, what people would consider major hurdles in your life.
Yes.
How has your resilience got you through that? And if you're comfortable talking about that, could you share with our listeners what went on for you?
Well, I grew up with my mother who had terminal cancer when I was a young girl. So that was difficult. She died when I was 20. My son, Bo, passed away. It'll be 16 years this Christmas. And he was a twin of my son, Ben. And my husband, Ken Flach, passed away in 2018. He was a professional tennis player. He and his partner were #1 in the world in doubles in tennis. So yes, I have had some, and then my business partner passed away a year after Ken. So I have had some tragedies in my life, definitely. I think I've handled some better than others. I think my son passing was definitely such a shock. And so much that I was taking some sleeping pills for about a month just to function because I was in so much inner turmoil. But I'm not a very good drug addict, so that didn't last long. So I knew that when Ken passed away from sepsis in 2018, that I really didn't have that luxury of taking pills and just curling up in a ball. I knew that I had to deal with the grief, and because it affects my kids. They've already had enough with their brother passing away, divorcing their father, and then Ken passing away. My kids were very close with him. And so I knew that I really had to keep myself together. So I actually became even a little bit more disciplined. I started working out twice a day, nothing huge, but I'd go for a walk, go to Pilates, ride my horse. I would do something just to calm my brain down. I started doing meditation apps in the morning and the night just to try and be able to fall asleep. And or just doing more work. And so because my kids are very affected, as all children are, with my state of mind. If my state of mind is not in a good place, it affects them. And I did not want them to suffer more than they already have. So I started doing these podcasts, speaking about raising awareness for sepsis, which then led to speaking about grieving in a positive way, which then led to me speaking about living your best life, being the best version of you. And I didn't expect any of those things to happen either, but they kind of have. And it helped me grieving to help others not feel what I feel. And so I also I have 2 charities at the Northern Lights School in Oakland, California. It's a private school for underprivileged children that are 90% there on scholarship. So we have the Baby Bo Fund, and we have the Ken Flach Educational Fund. And this past October, Ben, Bo's twin, who's a golfer, all my kids have participated in donating their time and efforts to the school, whether it be a teddy bear tea or the golf tournament. But Ben is a golfer, as is Nikolai, and as is Jazz and Rose. But they play in this celebrity golf tournament, and Ben has raised in the last 7 years, this past October, raised $60,000 for the charity in one day playing golf. And so I feel so proud that my kids have such generosity in their hearts for giving back, and that they feel honored to do so. And I think it's something that they've just been doing all their lives. And I hope that they continue because I do feel that you can't have someone like Ken in your life that you're just getting free tickets to the US Open and Wimbledon and just we have a platform to do some do-goodery. And that's what I call our charity work, our do-goodery. And I think it's really important to be a whole person. You are just to be generous with your time. It would be really morally wrong to me after having had these things happen, and that I've been given the opportunity to have a platform to speak about raising awareness for sepsis or raising money for underprivileged children to have an amazing education. Education and nutrition are very important to me. And I think that if kids are given the opportunity from a young age to eat well, we have the Bo Friedman outdoor classroom at the Edna McGuire School in Mill Valley, California. And it is an outdoor classroom, but it's a garden. There's chickens, there's fruit trees, and there's all these vegetable beds. And so the kids they plant the seeds, they harvest them, they do They sell things on once a week at a farmer's market, and during their snack, they eat their apples. And so I really feel that kids are going to be they learn to cook, do science experiments. So for me, if they're given this opportunity from kindergarten to 5th grade to try a different color carrot or a tomato or lettuce, they're going to be more inclined to eat well as they get older. And I think it's unfortunate. I really have a problem with all the rubbish that is on television, that, the McDonald's and all these different foods that are just no nutritional value. And I think it's really great that they'll hopefully make a healthier choice because they've been exposed to this from a young age.
Thank you. Thank you, Christina. It's hard to imagine even a part of what you've been through. And yet you are so bright and so resilient and so giving and generous. And there's just so many lessons in there for each of us.
But I don't want you to think that I'm pretty happy most of the time, but trust me, I have days and moments where I'm sad or I'm bummed out or I'm depressed. I'm normal. I'm human. I have those too. But when I get into those things, I'm going back to, again, am I hungry? Have I had water? Have I exercised? What am I grateful for? I really try to self-soothe myself. Sometimes I need to step out of my office for the afternoon and go do something else. And so I will. So maybe I need to go buy myself some flowers. So I do that sometimes. So it's important to figure out what your triggers are. And then it's important to know what you can do to self-soothe. Maybe I need to rest for a minute and go watch Netflix for a minute. It doesn't happen that often, but it does happen sometimes, or go read my book. And I think it's okay. I just have learned to know that, yes, I am having a moment and the moment will pass. And these are the things I need to do to get through the moment.
I think that's really useful because one of our missions is to really help entrepreneurs in the early stage of their business to keep going, to get through those hard times, to work with the challenges that life throws them, and to not quit. That's our biggest thing, is please don't quit. And I think some of these day-to-day practical tools that you're offering really helps towards that goal.
I also think that I did, my partner Jordan and I, we did this online course for executives and CEOs. And what was so interesting was, if you think about a professional athlete, the average lifespan, let's just say, is 7 years. But as a CEO or an executive, you could work for 30, 40 years. So knowing that, it is definitely a marathon, not a sprint. And you shouldn't work 20 hours a day and get no sleep. It's not feasible for that to go on for a long amount of time. So if you want to have a long career, it is important to have balance in your life. It's important to keep your relationships healthy and happy. I am in a healthy and happy relationship now that makes me able to do all that I do because I'm not distracted. I put effort into our relationship and into him. And it's nice at the end of the day to have someone to have dinner with and laugh with and snuggle up with and watch TV. It makes me a better version of me, that I have balance in my life. My relationships with my kids are really important. I know I drive them crazy, all 5 of them, and I call them and text them every day, and they think I'm annoying, but my mommy button doesn't go off just because you graduated from college. I'm sorry. I think it really is important to have balance in your life and to have a quality of life. You're going to have a much better career, whatever it is you're doing, if you are happy and able to have balance. It can't be off balance anything in your life, whether it be your exercise or your work or your relationships. If anything's too much or too little, it's not going to work.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, some people will say it's impossible to have you can have all the things, just not all the time. So finding that balance is
I disagree. It's a choice. Just as happiness is a choice. I wake up every day and I tell myself I'm going to have a great day. And I think of things I'm going to look forward to, and I focus on that. And it's definitely a choice. You can have It doesn't take much to send your partner a little note, say, hey, I love you. I can't wait to see you tonight. Or take a little bit of time, whether it be cooking dinner or making a special dinner, or the same with my kids. I send them little packages or do little, I don't know. It's a choice and you can make it. Annoying to me to hear someone say like, oh, I don't have time. You have time, make time. You know, it takes 2 minutes to send a text or to do something for someone else. And it feels good to me to give to everyone in my life that I love, but I also know that they love that too. So it's the circle is a positive cycle when you make that little bit of effort. If you want the best thing I can do is to show my kids that I am in a healthy, happy relationship, because to me, I want them to be in a healthy, happy relationship. And if they see that I'm not in one, well, how are they going to know how to have one?
You're modeling all of that for them with the self-care, with the balance, with the gratitude, with the things that you want for them, I'm sure is exactly what you're trying to model for them. And I do think that is, in my opinion, one of the best ways to parent and to lead. So whether you're leading a family, leading a business, leading your clients, because we lead in lots of different ways with lots of different people in our circles. And yeah, doing it yourself, taking care of yourself is kind of the most important thing. You know, it's like airlines, you know, you put the mask on first, the oxygen mask on first. It's 100% that, isn't it?
Think about it. If you're just think about how many, before I stopped beating the crap out of myself, that was another thing I used to do all the time. I didn't get enough done. I'm not thin enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm like all these things. I'm not. And I was chatting with my friend Diana, and she's an amazing entrepreneur as well. And she told me one day, she's like, you know, you would never treat another human the way you treat yourself. You are just constantly beating the crap out of yourself about all you didn't do and how, and I thought, my gosh, I wouldn't treat anyone the way I treat me. So why am I treating me so bad? Right. And to feel that I don't have guilt about my workout or my food or my relationships or whatever, it's so freeing to not have all that wasted guilt and worry. It is such a waste of time.
Yeah, so true. So one final question for you, Christina. Yeah. We ask all of our guests this. You've kind of explained it pretty well, but just to sum it all up, what does resilience mean to you?
Oh, just being relentless. I don't give up. I don't give up on people, situations. I just, consistency, a goal, drive, ambition. It's all this, being resilient. It's all those things. It's just keep it going every day.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Relentlessness. That's a new one.
A relentless cow.
Got to be a little bit relentless. Yes. Thank you so much. This was an incredible conversation. I really, really appreciate you joining us today, and wish you only the best, biggest amounts of luck and success in your future, and can't wait to see you on more magazines and say, I know her, I've met her. Yeah, I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Resilient Entrepreneurs, and please subscribe to this channel to be notified of each new episode. We love supporting entrepreneurs, especially with mindset, marketing, and motivation, which is why we feature entrepreneurs from all walks of life in various stages of business. We hope their stories will inspire and encourage you to keep doing what you do well with resilience. We've also created this space for an incredible community of business founders who meet weekly in our membership called the Level Up League. If you want to know more about it, look us up online at 241branding.com. See you next time.